doesn't exactly feel like it's been a lifetime since we had this machine here. This is the one that I ended up pushing home in the rain not very long ago, although I did get the issues at the time sorted and it went back home, but it's since developed some more, and seems to be a wet sumping issue that I've got to look into with it, and I've already found a few things, so I'm going to try and go over what I've done with it so far and what I've found. And that includes this here, which, I don't know whether we can see that little bit of aluminium there in my hand. Well, that was lodged in the outlet end of the scavenge pipe where it fits in this chamber. Let's see if I can put it out. In there where the scavenge filter lives, and I think I better take the camera off the tripod actually, or lower it down a little. Hang on, let's see what we can do with it. There. Yeah, scavenge pipe goes into this chamber here, which houses this scavenge filter, but right across the open end of the pipe going into the chamber we had that little bit of aluminium lodged in there, and that's not the first time that I've come up against that with a Crusader engine, and I think it's probably part of the remnants of perhaps a engine blow up where a piston has disintegrated or something and bits have got scattered around in the bottom of the crankcase and mashed up and sucked up by the scavenge line as the engine's been slowing down, ready to stop, or maybe the bike's been going along in gear. Anyway, obviously the engine's kept spinning for just long enough to suck a few bits up the scavenge pipe and partially block it off. So that's one promising discovery, if you like, as far as getting it fixed is concerned. Anyway, another one was we basically got the scavenge pickup pipe, the end of it that sucks up the oil from the crankcase end is there, just behind that bottom run of the primary chain where I've got the end of the screwdriver, and I found I was able to tighten the Allen bolts up on that one just a little bit, so that might have been impeding the suction, I don't know. Likewise, the union on the feed pipe, and that's where the oil comes from the tank part of the engine into the pipe to be picked up by the oil pump, and one screw actually was quite a way off bottoming out there, so I've dealt with that. So we could have had leakage from the tank compartment coming into this part of the engine thanks to that. I've also found a lot of wear in the oil pump assembly which lives in there, so I've ordered a complete new assembly, and hopefully I'll try and demonstrate some of the play that we've got. I'll take my torch off my head now. Here's the oil pump. Hopefully you can see this here. If I can get the plungers out. The big one is the scavenge one, and this one that I've got in my hand is the feed, and it should hopefully be possible for me to demonstrate. Hang on, get the end of it back in. There we are. There's a lot of play in that plunger, so oil from the tank under gravity would find its way past that plunger, especially when the oil's hot. The engine's stopped hot with warm oil in it, quite a lot of oil could get past that and give rise to some of the oil that we've been having gathering in the crankcase. The scavenge plunger is also worn, but to a lesser degree, but it certainly won't hurt the engine to have a new replacement oil pump assembly, and that will at least help it and should eliminate the oil pump from our inquiries. So quite a bit to go on there already, and there's a few damaged threads to attend to as well. Let's get the camera off the tripod a minute and have a better look at a few things. I've got a little job to do underneath it as well, where there should be a plug. I think it's a 1/4 inch, possibly BSF, just like a short bolt screwed into that, and that just blanks off a drillway that goes up through and joins up with the scavenge line in the crankcase, so that it can be teed off and oil picked up by the scavenge line there. But unfortunately it seems like the threads has been damaged and someone's sort of forced an oversized stud into it, which I've now removed, that was wrapped in PFTE tape. So I'm going to try and restore, either tap out a thread in it or helicoil it back to original or something, and get a proper good fitting blanking plug in there as well, which certainly wouldn't hurt it. But I think I'm fairly confident that with the blob of aluminium that was right over the opening where that pipe, scavenge pipe, comes into the filter chamber, with that out the way, the engine's going to be able to scavenge much more efficiently, I would hope, and that might help the engine to bail out the crankcase more quickly than it perhaps has done, and hopefully the new oil pump might just stop so much oil going into the crankcase in the first place. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's about where I'm leaving it for the weekend. I've ordered the oil pump from Hitchcock's, the whole assembly, and I'll be fitting that next week, attending to a few of the threads that I need to sort out, and then we'll put the primary chain case cover back on and see if I've made any improvements. So if anyone's interested, watch this space and we'll pick up on the story next week, I hope.